Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we're very excited to be back here for another show as we are in the week of Christmas. I can't believe that time has rocketed by us, but here we are in the Christmas season, and hopefully all of you are well with you and yours. Well, anytime we do this sports show, I like to bring on one of the most beautiful women in sports talk radio and TV. We simply know her as the Queen, Miss Tree Dolman. Welcome back.
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And when you have a queen, you also need to have a champion, two-time Super Bowl winner. He also is a proud member of the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame. And I believe he's also a nominee for the Black College Football Hall of Fame. The one and only number 38, Tyrone Poole, is back in the building.
Hola, hola.
¿Cómo está, señor?
Yes. Muy bien, gracias.
My friend. A little Espanol to start things off. I need my shades, baby.
Yeah. How we doing, Reverend? How you doing, Miss Tree? Hello, everybody watching and listening. Hola.
And hola, buenas noches. This is a beautiful thing. And I noticed that we have another co-host. Let's zoom in on our other co-host. Is she going to say hello?
You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Say hi. That's my sparkle.
There she is, live on the scene. Well, guys, another fantastic weekend as we get ready to move into the holiday season. Let's go around the horn here. Mr. Poole, have you made any preparations, family stuff going on? What's happening in the Poole household as we get ready for Christmas?
You know what? Christmas is Christmas, but I do have a gift that somebody sent to me. I think the queen, she sent a gift. So I have an opportunity to open my very first gift live right here on Real Talk. So let's see what the queen has put me through. You see how it's kind of heavy.
Oh, we got something
noise. So I'm like, I'm guessing it's about maybe some Bitcoin, like the plastic, the actual gift corn card. I got maybe she gave me, I don't know, maybe 10,000 Bitcoins.
Wow.
Let's see.
Wait, you can't open it yet.
What?
Yet? No.
Not yet.
See?
All right.
I want you. Do you have yours, Jonathan?
Okay, now I will have to admit, I had to. I'm
listening.
The queen already messed up. All right.
I'm listening.
All right. At least I'm trying to bow back up for mine. So, okay, I'm trying to bow back up. I had pulled it, but I'm tired. Sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
This whole gift giving has suddenly went to the left. Okay, so I was originally going to put my gift on the air. However, I'm not broadcasting from my home this evening due to the fact that I saw a lot of vehicles. I couldn't make it all there. So I'm at my daughter's house, and the gift is at my home. So I couldn't. And I didn't think I was going to be broadcasting from here today.
Well, that's a good reason.
There's an emergency situation. But the good news is, for those of you who are concerned about my financial welfare, I sold 3 cars today.
Yay.
All right.
Well, anyway.
All right. So I guess the question is, because I wanted all 3 of you to open it together. So since Jonathan doesn't have his, Tyrone, you get to choose. Do you want to open yours now, or do you want to open yours with D-Led?
Well, I opened mine with D-Led. All
right. And so I'll be the odd man out again. Once again, I've kind of messed the whole Florida situation out. But that's I'm trying. Y'all have to bear with me, folks. I'm working on trying to be a better me. I'm watching a lot of motivational stuff. I get some great motivational stuff from one of my co-hosts, Tyrone Poole, and I'm trying to improve. So y'all please be working with me and praying along with me as I work along on this journey to get better every day. But I will say it's been a little lumpy and bumpy as of late, but that's okay. We're still in it to win it. Yeah. So Tree, I will. Can I do mine next week, or is that too late?
I mean, you might as well open it once you get home because you'll know what it is once they open there.
Oh, I didn't think about that. All right. Well, yeah,
But
y'all
it's
can
up
see
to
my,
you.
you see my mind is messed up. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, I'll go ahead and open the gift, and I'll be basically looking at my other two co-hosts as they enjoy their gifts ahead of me. But that's okay. I won't feel any kind of way. I'm okay. Um, it's because it's my fault. I caused this. All right. So a lot of stuff going on in the weekend. Once again, we want to kind of kick off. I don't necessarily know it's a hot topic, but it's in the news. Um, COVID is really wreaking havoc in professional sports right now. We got a lot of things that are happening in terms of games being moved around. Tyrone, I'm going to ask you first because it's actually moved football schedules where it looks like we're having games on almost every day of the week. As a player, what kind of your thoughts about this kind of disruption in the season, and how do you think it maybe affects some of these players with all of a sudden playing games literally in the middle of the week like they've never done before?
You know what? I'm a person. I just try to call a spade a spade. Um, I'm gonna use traffic for an example first before I answer that question. Um, in certain cities, or maybe all cities, I know here in Atlanta, sometimes I ask and I wonder why in the world are you guys doing construction doing during the high peak traffic hours? Why not do it like after midnight or between 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning instead of backing us up, making us delay? Really, I think sometimes the city say, we don't care what y'all think. We just don't want to pay these guys overtime, so we're going to put them out there at the time that we can save money. So I say that to say, as a player, we are saying, why are you guys doing this to us? But I understand that there's a safety issue, okay? But I think sometimes by putting the games on different times, it's just how my mind is thinking, going forward. Now, college football is over. You see they started to put games on Saturdays. Now, during the week, there's an empty space. So if we can move these games now to Tuesday, we can move them to Wednesday. It's all about the ratings. People going to tune in. Oh, Wednesday, pro football? Yes, it's just like it's still September. It's like it's still October. So, yes, I get it that it's about safety and we want to make sure everybody recovers. But at the same time, they are smiling because you know what? We're going to have some high ratings, and it's all about the ratings. Show me the money. That's that Jerry Maguire, right? So that's just my opinion. It's a twofold. Yes, the safety, I understand. But at the same time, the players, I wouldn't like it because that means if I play on Wednesday, I got a short, and the coaches probably don't like it because now you got a short week to get ready for Sunday. But the NFL as a whole, hey, we get an opportunity to get our ratings up. More money, more television. Hey, that's just me thinking.
Tree, what are your thoughts about this idea of all these games being played on these kind of middle of the week, and how COVID really seems to be affecting not only NFL? We're talking a little bit minute about the Hawks and professional hockey as well.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Tyrone said. They are finding ways to fit in the games, and I also agree that the players aren't getting a lot of rest because if they're playing Wednesday and then they have to play on Sunday, that's definitely shorter time for their bodies to recover. The only thing that concerns me is that we all know how physical football is, and their bodies are already going through a lot with just having the week off. And so for them not having an entire week off and just getting a few days, I think that unfortunately we may see some more injuries.
Yeah, so just in looking at this, it just seems to me it's kind of a money grab. I mean, don't be wrong. I mean, nobody wants to be in an unsafe situation, but the whole way that the COVID is being handled all over the place is really somewhat willy-nilly. You have a situation where you have a coach that has tested positive again in Sean Payton from the New Orleans Saints, and my understanding is that Payton is fully vaccinated. Um, we also have a problem with this spilling into the NBA. If I'm not mistaken, the Hawks announced that Trae Young is in the COVID protocol. So I'm not sure what they're going to do going forward. I know at the NFL, to me, it just seems like they're doing a trial balloon to see, hey, would people in fact watch football every day of the week? We know colleges, some of the FCS schools have tried to do this. They're playing games on Wednesday and on, in addition to the regular Thursday games and Friday night games. So, I mean, to me, it just seems like this could be an attempt to us to say, hey, if this works, we'll start playing basically football, every day of the week. And now you talk about safety from a COVID protocol sense. What about the safety of players' bodies? I mean, Tyrone, you played the game, man. It's that's a that's a hard game.
Yeah, it is.
It gets harder as you get older. And now you're asking somebody, it's bad enough that you got guys playing on these short weeks with the Thursday night games and things like that. But now you're talking about guys possibly playing Tuesday and then coming right back again playing that Sunday. I just think that you're going to get more and more physical injuries down the road if this keeps up. So hopefully, NFL, this is just for COVID purposes only. We won't see this continue on as we move into other seasons. But it just to me seems like the whole NFL is all about money, money, money. Even this idea of now giving out stakes to teams in Europe, and we'll talk about that more in the NFL. Well, let's shift now to the Hawks. Again, my understanding is Trae Young is in the COVID protocol, and the NBA had to cancel actually 2 games. The Cleveland Hawks and the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Hawks games were canceled. So, I mean, I just don't know what we're going to be able to do going forward because it apparently, as the weather's starting to get colder, more of us are going inside. And this new, what's it called again? The Omicron variant? Do I get that right?
Yeah. I think you're in the right area.
Okay, I'm in the area. All right,
Let's say this right now. Even this is something that I'm learning more and more and more. The Word of God says, God said His people destroyed for a lack of knowledge, and I believe knowledge and its proper use wins battles. Now, the COVID itself, and anybody who's an expert out there on this, please chime in, or you guys, Jonathan or Tree, correct me, but COVID has been around. COVID itself has been around for almost years. Now, the strands of COVID, which are COVID-19 and stuff, that's how they give it the name, COVID-19, COVID, whatever. Those strands may be new. Now, somebody told me this, which gave me a little bit of enlightenment. COVID has been around for years. The different strands show up at different times. Now, these labs, what they're doing in these labs, they're always trying to create a virus to overtake another virus. And then when you let a virus get out that has not had anything to combat it, now you got to fight it on the run, so to speak. So, it's a whole lot of stuff. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert. It's just my opinion. But, the more and more I hear about stuff, I'm like, COVID, the flu, I'm like, I think COVID is going to be around forever. It's going to be around forever. We just got to treat it just like the flu. Get your shots if you have to, whatever you got to do, stay healthy, eat right, exercise. But this is something that's not going to go away. So, it's all about adjusting. That's just my opinion.
Well, it's a good opinion. I mean, there's no doubt there's a lot of stuff going on out there. They talk about the coronavirus. When I went and Googled that up, they talked about coronavirus being, I guess, an origination of SARS, COV2. It said allegedly originated in bats. Okay. And it says it creates severe acute respiratory syndrome. And that's how, in fact, the whole concept of SARS, we got started, and it turned into COV2, which now we consider to be COVID. And it says over time, it said, now here's the thing, going back to what you said as history. I'm reading this from the WebMD.com website, and this is what they have to say about coronavirus. I'm reading it here. It said that coronavirus evolution, scientists first identified a human coronavirus in 1965. And what did it cause? A common cold. Later that decade, researchers found a group of similar human and animal viruses and named them after their crown-like appearance, hence the word corona. 7 coronaviruses can infect humans. The one that causes SARS emerged in southern China in 2002 and quickly spread to 20 other countries. More than 8,000 people were infected by July 2003, and 774 died. It says the MERS virus was also another type of coronavirus, started in Saudi Arabia in 2012. Okay, almost all the 2,500 cases were people that traveled to the Middle East. So clearly, according to WebMD, this has been around for a while. The problem is that these strains mutate, different things go on. Like you mentioned, people experiment in laboratories. But the bottom line is that since we are a sports show and not a medical show, all I'm going
Exactly.
to say is I say every week, y'all just be careful and
Yes.
be prayerful. I don't care if you got 3 vaccines. I don't care if you got no vaccines. I love you. I'm praying for us all that soon that this whole situation will be by the wayside. And if it is not by the wayside, that we're able to manage it and handle it through whatever means that the Lord leads you to do it. And if you want more information, go to WebMD, go to some type of website where there's medical experts, not the Real Talk Sports Show. Just say, okay, so go there. All right, speaking of Real Talk Sports Show and experts, we have to talk to some experts who are some of our backers and sponsors, and we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Please don't go anywhere.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
All right, we're back here listening and watching the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Mr. Johnson. Right next to me is the lovely Queen, Ms. Street Dolman. Right underneath us both is the two-time Super Bowl champion and Hall of Famer from Fort and Valley State Sports, the one and only Tyrone Poole. All right, guys, what's up with the Hawks? This team just seems to be up and down. Coach Nate seems to have done everything he has tried to do to preach defense, but this team still seems like they are floundering. Tyrone, any thoughts about the Hawks and kind of what they're going through right now? What's up with this team?
I heard, I'd be real short because I know, Tree, she loves to talk about her guy, John Collins. So I know she got a lot to say about these Hawks. So, but, I heard Coach Nate McMillan, question the players, their intensity or their, just desire. And I'm like, he's beginning to see it. He probably saw it early and he was just hoping some of his leaders would pull the team out of it. And I think every great team has to have those players that make other players accountable and they do the work for the coach. But when the coach got to come and say something, then to me, that means that it's hit rock bottom. And he has to make a point. He shouldn't have to make a point. It should be the players should police themselves. But again, we talked about it earlier, in many other shows. They're young. And my question was, yes, everybody was excited. Yes, the Hawks, they won. They're going to come back next year, the following year, and we're going to go all the way. I'm like, you know what? All right, we shall see. We shall see. But, to win, it takes an attitude. It takes a mentality. And my thing is, do you have those players? Whether it's Trey Young, or either the Queen's top guy, John Collins. Somebody got to step up and take that team by the neck and say, come on, guys, let's get it right.
Well, Tree, we're going to go to you. What are your thoughts about your Atlanta Hawks and what the heck is going on with this team?
Yeah, they're definitely going through a funk right now, and I agree completely with Tyrone. You have to have players that will step up, and those players needs to be John Collins and Trey Young pushing other players. I understand that the Hawks are very close. They always talk about how much fun they have off the court and how close they are as a unit. And so they may not want to really get into the other guy's grill. Who knows if that's what's going on or not, but I agree. Somebody needs to step up and push these players to where they are focused on defense. They have to really change their mindset from being a scoring team to a defensive team. And when you change and become a defensive team, then you'll get those easy scores and you'll get a lot of layups, you'll get a lot of dunks, but it all starts with defense. And so they do have to change their mindset. I also agree with Tyrone on that. It's all about their mindset.
Yeah, right now they look like a very average team. They don't look like what you'd expect from a playoff team. They don't have that winning edge. One of the things that you normally is a hallmark of an average or mediocre team is their inconsistency. And that's what the Hawks are showing this year. They'll win 4 or 5 games in a row, and they'll lose 4 or 5 games in a row. Just right across the board, everything about this team is average. They're 8-8 in the conference. They're 8-7 at home. They're a little bit under that on the road. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. That's a marker that Tyrone likes to look at. These 10-game spots. They're 4-6 and under 500, and they just are not playing well. And the other thing they're doing is they're not doing what they did last year. The hallmark of this Hawks team in the second half, when they made that tremendous run to the playoffs, that they were a team that knew how to close out games. So the first time really in Hawk history, they were able to, if they had the lead, keep the lead in the fourth quarter. And if they were behind, they were able to win games in the fourth quarter. They had one of the best point differentials in the fourth quarter in the last year. So this team really is going to have to make some moves. Now, speaking of making some moves, there are some things that are floating around here on social media. Now, this is very interesting. We're talking about different types of players. So one of the rumors going out there right now is that Lance Stevenson and the Hawks have agreed to a 10-day hardship contract. So this is allegedly going on here. He's been playing in the G League, and it says that his agent says he's being lined up by the Hawks. Now, whether this is true or not, we're not 100% sure. We'll probably know more tomorrow. But now there's a guy that has got some attitude. If some people don't know, Lance Stevenson was a guy that used to go at it all the time with LeBron James. Used to always get on LeBron James' skin. He's kind of a prickly kind of guy. When he played against the Hawks, the same thing. So he's got kind of instigator vibe to him. Maybe that's what the Hawks might need. The other thing the Hawks have announced, has been announced that the Hawks have signed Malcolm Hill, a former player out of Illinois. Let's get you some stats on him. Again, former Illinois star. This is from the Illinois Inquirer. Says the 26-year-old guard has signed a 10-day contract with the Atlanta Hawks with a hardship exemption, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. He was a two-time second-team All-Big Ten player, Illinois, number 3 scorer in program history overall. He is a guy that, has got a little meat to himself, 6'6", 220 pounds, and averaging about 17 points a game in the G League. So clearly it looks like the Hawks are trying to do some things to maybe toughen up, bring in players like this that can maybe kind of, get things stirred up. So we see, but definitely they got to do something, because right now the team is just they just don't look sharp. They don't look like they're energized or into the game. If it doesn't change shortly, they're going to find themselves possibly out of the playoffs, because right now they're 11th overall in the NBA East. So the Hawks are going to have to make some changes big time to kind of see what we saw last year.
And say this too about the Hawks, and we all agree it's a mentality, and this is what I've learned over my playing career. They always say hindsight is 20/20. The worst thing to success, or the worst thing to potential. We all say that the Hawks have potential. They have potential. They have potential. But the worst thing that can happen to a person that has potential is to have success. And what I mean by that is, when you have success, you start to think that you've made it. You start to think that you've made it, and you start to take your eyes off the prize. But that is just a part of developing the whole goal setting experience, so to speak. So the potential of the last year's team, okay, yeah, they exceeded it. So that potential that they exceeded turned into success. And I think that, again, as we all agree, that mentality. So I've learned that the worst thing that can happen to a person that has potential is to have success. So that's why you got to always, you hear great teams, they always say, you know what, we got to put this one behind us. I don't care how big the win was. They're going to celebrate, but they're going to always remind themselves, you know what, yes, it was a great victory, but let's put this one behind us, and we're thinking about such and such coming up next week.
Well, those are all valid points. All valid points. Some of it is that. Still, and I know these guys try not to pay attention to the press, but the rumors looks like every month the rumors about them possibly trading Cam Reddish. Another thing too is, I don't want to sell short the fact that the Hawks have had a lot of injuries again this year. Once again they find themselves banged up. DeAndre Hunter, probably their best defensive player, won't be back until probably after the first of the year. Cam Reddish just kind of coming back. Bogey, who's a guy that Bogdanovich is a guy that is at least a kind of handsy guy that can at least kind of get you disrupted off your game, and a good offensive player. He's injured, so the Hawks have had a lot of injury, and Okongwu has just come back, one of their best defensive post players. So we don't want to I don't want to seem like I'm just throwing shade on them, but clearly they're going to have to improve their quality of play.
Well, even though they have injuries, you're only as good as your weakest link.
Come on, Tree.
So everybody who is on your roster needs to be able to get the job done. So you really can't use injuries as an excuse.
Yes.
You have to know that that is going to happen. That is a part of the game. So you want to get a roster where when the first man is out, the sixth man that comes in is ready.
Yes. Come on, Tree. Come on, Tree. We got to get Jonathan right now. We got to get Jonathan. He's talking about injuries and all. Come on, Jonathan. Nobody throwing shade, man. We call that thing like it is. And hey, I even make a joke. When you go to the store and buy eggs, right? You get a dozen of eggs. You basically saying that if I crack one egg, the other 11 eggs gonna be just the same. You don't go in there and buy 2 eggs out of a dozen and say, well, hey, if the first 2 get cracked, then hey, we just got to do what we got to do. No, man, you go buy 12 eggs. If one crack, you want to make sure that the other 11, they fry just the same.
Okay. I wasn't trying to make excuses. I'm just saying, hey, I'm just saying that I don't want people to think that I'm just, lambasting these guys. I get it. They do have some injuries to key players. Because Congo showed in the playoff that he is one of their key post players. I'm not going to try to make it seem like they don't have some deficiencies. But the bottom line is, even with that case, when you take a lead into the fourth quarter, that means you're good enough to win. When you're able to have such a poor defensive showing, I think 5 times this year, teams have scored 40 points in a quarter.
Yeah.
It's a mindset.
40 points in a quarter.
And that's the problem. So let's just be real here.
Please.
After halftime, like when you start the game, it's go time, right? You want to get out on top. You want to shut that team down. You never want a team to even think that they can compete with you. You want to shut that team down from the start. Then you go into halftime, whatever the score is. You have to come out harder the second half than you played the first half.
Nice.
And I don't care if you're up by 100 points. I don't care if you're down by 20 points. You have to go harder. And when that fourth quarter comes, you really have to go hard. And the thing that I am seeing is that they are not really going really hard when it's towards the end of the game, where, in my opinion, that's where you really have to push and really shut teams down. And I'm happy to say that hearing that they are bringing in some aggressive players, I think will be good. Everybody knows I love my Detroit Pistons. And one thing that we were known for when we won our championships were being the bad boys. That's what we were called, the bad boys. And although I do not condone violence, I do not condone all of the elbowing and things of that nature, because I don't like when people do it to me. But one thing that I do like about the bad boys in that era of the Pistons players is that people knew when they were coming to play Detroit, they weren't about to get away with anything. And it wasn't going to be an easy win if they did win. They knew it was going to be a tough physical game. And so I just say that to say, even with Draymond Green, sometimes I don't like his antics and things that he does to get in players' heads and things, but hey, that's how he plays the game. But you know that Draymond Green, you know that he is going to bring defense to the game. He may not always score, but he is a huge presence on the floor because of his defense and everything that he brings to the game with his hustle, his rebounding, but mainly defense. So if the Hawks can get a player like that, of that caliber, I think that will really make a big difference, because you really don't want teams thinking that they can just come in your house. And I mean that by the paint area, because as a post player, that was my house. So when I played, this is my house and you're not coming in it. And that was always my mentality every single game. You were not coming in my house, and you definitely were not scoring in my house. And so we need players to have that mentality, where players from other teams don't think, oh, I'm just going to run and score an easy layup or shoot in the paint. Like, come on, let's keep these guys out of the paint. Let's play defense. So I think it would be great to get someone aggressive on defense.
And, it's just like what Tree's saying, it's a mentality. The first thing they ask a team, or when we're looking at film, whether it's football or baseball or basketball, whatever case may be, you want to know what's the identity of that team. What's the identity? What's the identity? So I think that's what we're all talking about. Finding an identity. And then on top of that, about star players being injured. Man, I remember, again, I know we're talking about the Hawks, but I think the principle applies. Playing football. Man, we had some of our starters go down. You know what? Like Tree say, next man up. That person need to be just as good. So if that's not happening, then that means somebody in the front office not doing their job. So it filters down from the players all the way up to the front office. So again, it's a mindset. You got to find your identity. And one man go down, next man up. But you got to keep that same intensity and that same mentality. You cannot let off. And I'll close with this. We would always say, don't be that guy. Or in a woman's standpoint, don't be that woman. Meaning, don't be the one, like Tree say, they say you are the weakest link in the chain. Don't be that guy. And that in itself puts pressure on you mentally to say, hey, I ain't going to be the one to give up that play. And then with that being said and everybody grip that mentality, that's how you become dominant.
Well, so I don't become the weak link. Let me just make sure I'm reading everything properly. The Hawks, I mean, it's all in the numbers, and stats don't tell everything. But if you look at this team, they're 23rd in the league. So in the bottom third in giving up points per game. They're giving up 110 points per game. And the reason why this whole defense thing is very critical is because they're fourth in the league in scoring. They're averaging 111 points a game. So think about it. If they could get the defense to even get to around 108, because I think last year they were around 106 or 107 last year. So that's the difference. That's why this team is 14-15 and not, 20-10 or something like that, because they refuse to play defense. And unfortunately, this was the same problem that the old Hawks used to have. They always had a reputation of being soft. Since the Dominique and the era where the Hawks had some tough guys. I mean, this team has got that impression. They got out in the playoffs. Like I said, Okongwu, John Collins, and Clint Capella, these guys seem to not want to back down from anybody. But right now, they just appear to be not interested in playing the tough defense that they need to, play winning basketball. Well, go ahead.
I would say John Collins, he does play tough defense, and I see Clint Capella. I mean, you can say, but I watch the games. He does get physical with the guys. He does, so he doesn't make it easy. Clint Capella, I think, also does a great job with playing defense. I just think it has to be more of a team mentality, and I think that they could use maybe a little more aggression than what they are playing with, but I'm not saying that they're not playing tough, because I do see some great defense and some great shot blocks and things of that nature. We just have to get more of that, and I think we just need a tougher mentality especially when it comes to the paint. But like you were saying earlier, you can't just trade baskets. If you're scoring and then they're scoring, you have to make stops. That's the only way that you can be successful. You want to score, but then you also have to make key stops and a lot of stops, and then also get those rebounds so that stops the other team for having second attempts, and then you go down and score. And like you said, once they can do that, that will be a big game changer, I think.
Yeah, that's again, it gets back to consistency, because Akira, you just heard me mention that this team is averaging 111 points a game, but yet they've had two fourth quarters this season where they've scored less than 10 points. So they're just going to have to get their act together. Defensively starts it. Defense, because stops on defense, turnovers create easy baskets. So unless these guys kind of get it together, we might be watching them as an 8 seed or not at all. I'm just saying. All right. Listen, guys, stay tuned right here for more. We're going to come back and talk a little bit about a shocker in the dome. Disaster for Deion. But to find out more about that, you have to tune in here to the Real Talk Sports Show, and we'll be right back.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net. The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
All right, we're back with the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm the host, Minister Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me on the screen, the lovely Queen Tree Dolman, and below us here, Super Bowl champion twice, Mr. Tyrone Poole. Well, guys, we talked a little bit about earlier with the Hawks and people being overconfident, people maybe not putting their best foot forward. Well, unfortunately, in the Celebration Bowl, the highly favored and much anticipated Jackson State coronation was thwarted as South Carolina State rolled them over 31-10. Game was in hand for Jackson State for most of the first half. Their defense had a couple of turnovers and got us scored up 7-0, and then the wheels came off as Coach Sanders' son, Shadur Sanders, made a terrible error, fumbling the ball in his own red zone, which led to a quick 7 points by South Carolina State. And then later, again, another big turnover, which got them a field goal. So suddenly, within about 5 or 6 minutes, it went from a 7-0 in control game for Jackson State to a 10-7 game for South Carolina State. And everything tipped them because all the momentum was clearly going to South Carolina State. And in the second half, their defense, which is actually pretty good, was dominant, causing turnovers and getting a short field. And their quarterback threw 4 touchdowns, and the wide receiver had a record 3 touchdown receptions. And South Carolina State Bulldogs knocked off the Jackson State Tigers 31-10. Tyrone, you followed HBCU. I guess obviously it was the SIAC and lots going on in the Division II. What do you think about that shocker with South Carolina State knocking off Jackson State?
Yeah, it was a shocker. When I talked about Jackson State playing South Carolina State, I went to the numbers and like they say, even the numbers a lot to you, man. But the one thing that never lies to you, rivalry. When it's a rivalry, MEAC, SWAC, that's a rivalry. And South Carolina State, they come in, they're like, hey, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of bulletin board material. Everybody's talking about Jackson State. Nobody's talking about us. And that in itself will make you pick up your pace and play outside of your body, as they, would normally say sometimes. So I think South Carolina State came in and they said, hey, they put their pants on the same way we do. So let's go out there, hit them in the mouth, and let's continue to hit them in the mouth until the final whistle. And let's make plays when we need to make plays. And let's take the ball away when we need to take the ball away. This is what they do. This is who they are, okay? And I think that's how South Carolina State came into this game. Because remember, we heard nothing about South Carolina State. It was all Jackson State. So sometimes when you are dealing with young men, now Deion has been around that. He knows how to handle that pressure. And he still can handle the media and still go out there and perform. But some of the young guys, this is their first time being introduced to that limelight. And I think they got blinded like deers in the headlight. And South Carolina State came out there to play.
Well, let's see if I can get some video from the post-game comments, which it's kind of interesting here. Let's take a peek and see if we can find out about what these guys had to say in the post-game about what we just discussed. Let's go here to our videotape and see what we got here. First, we're going to listen to, I think we get this, Coach Prime himself, being very gracious, talking about how well South Carolina State played and had nothing but good things to say about them. Let's see if we can get that up on our screen.
They were just going to hand us the game. My hat's off to everybody involved with South Carolina State, especially secondary. They got a corner over there that I think should be recommended for the NFL. I'm pretty sure he is, but the boy can play. And he should get a shine on. But we tried our best, and we had our butts kicked.
Well, there it is. Deion, he was straightforward, didn't pull any punches, and he just said, basically, we got the brakes beat off us. And I like the fact that he immediately just got right to the point, because everybody was like, what happened? What happened? He said, look here, man, we just got beat. But later on, he did mention the fact that he felt that his team really kind of were listening to too much of people saying how good they were and weren't ready to play. He said he didn't see that fire. And the other thing, too, is that we also like to hear about bulletin board material. I'm going to try to get this up because this were the comments after a question was asked to the South Carolina players. What did they think about the response they got around Atlanta before the game? So we're going to go to that and let's see if we can get something about that here on our video screen. Let's take a peek. These are South Carolina State players talking about what they felt might have been a little shade that they got here around Atlanta.
To get ready for the game today, what was it specifically?
Well, at first they said we wasn't going to score 21 points offensively.
Yep.
So we just had to come out, play our game, prove them wrong.
Another thing I was saying, we had a little free time to go around Atlanta. I was in the mall, me and my teammates, and a lot of people was like, so y'all are the team that Jackson State playing. Like they never heard of South Carolina State. So I was like, we looking at each other like, oh, okay. Well, we already knew we was the underdog, so that was something big on us, especially in the secondary. I was with my guys that was in the secondary with me, and we just in the mall, and a lot of people just stopping us. They're like, oh, do y'all play basketball? No, we don't play basketball.
You're muted.
Yeah, so even that last statement, do y'all play basketball? Yeah, as you can see, those young guys were clearly disturbed, and that was all the bulletin board material they needed. And in the second half, they were just completely dominant. I'm going to read you off some of these stats here from this game. The most valuable player was wide receiver from South Carolina State, Shaquan Davis. 5 receptions, 95 yards, and a Celebration Bowl record-setting 3 touchdowns in that game. And also the quarterback, Corey Fields, although – all right, we're going to take a little station break. It seems like we have a little alarm system going on here. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, please. Thank you.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Alrighty then. Hopefully that didn't disturb everyone here. For those of you who were hearing that beeping sound, this is what happens when you are being a home broadcaster. We get alerts, so we had to take care of that. But yeah, it was something that really, it was all Jackson State. I mean, we even went to the game, all the buzz was around Jackson State about what they were going to do, and we all thought in the press box, especially after Jackson State got to a quick 7-0 lead, we were like, hey, we thought that was going to be the score in the other direction, that Jackson State was just going to roll them 31-10 or, something like that. But really, Tyrone, the worst thing you can do is count somebody out, especially when you're playing football.
Yeah, definitely. And here's something else to take a note on, everybody. When you look at the MEAC and the SWAC, which this is what the Celebration Bowl is about, the MEAC actually has beaten the SWAC. They're 5-1 against the SWAC. So, Jackson State, they played the SWAC championship But South Carolina State had not played football in a while, so they had an opportunity to really study and get their guys prepared for this game. And then, like you said, Jonathan, you add on that bulletin board material, and you come in already knowledgeable about what a team is going to do. Oh man, that's a recipe for disaster. So again, check the stats. The MEAC conference, they are 5-1, if I am correct, against the SWAC. So this ain't the first loss that Jackson State or the SWAC has had against the MEAC conference.
Yeah, the SWAC and the MEAC, we don't know what it is. Even they hit Deion about that, and he was like, look, man, I don't know anything about what happened in the past. All I know is we got beat by a good South Carolina State team. And I will tell you this much. They were dominant on defense. Shedeur Sanders, which, again, for those of you who don't know, is the starting quarterback and Deion's son, has been a great threat on the ground. Well, SC State had a rover spy that they played, and here's the stats from Mr. Jackson. 16 of 36 in the air, 175 yards. He did have a touchdown pass, but threw 2 costly interceptions that led to South Carolina State scores or blocked a key drive for a Jackson State score. And on the ground, 14 carries for a stunning negative 18 yards. He didn't even have positive yards for the whole game. So defensively, that was the key for South Carolina State. They made Jackson State one-dimensional. Tyrone, as you know, if you can keep a team to just doing one thing or another, you usually can shut them down. And that was the case with South Carolina State, just dominant. Let's go to social media here. Todd said game was on ABC, national game. Both teams won, really, the exposure and also win the night for the show. Well, thank you, sir. And for Preacher Ain't Eating.
And can I add this little tidbit in right here? Going back, like Deion said, he don't really care anything about the past. He just know that they got beat. That is a true statement. That's a true statement. But that's also not truly stated. And what I mean by that is when it's an HBCU, there are certain teams that is your rivalry. I don't care. You could go 0 and whatever. But when you play against these guys here, man, like the dead even wake up and come out and get on the field. So I'm like, the MEAC and the SWAC, this is what they call black HBCU rivalry. And I know Deion is being exposed to it. He Florida State, bigger program, and I know he understands HBCUs. Nothing against Deion, but I'm like, I've been there. I'm like in the heart of it. I'm in the eye of the storm. I know we at Fort Valley State, we could be 0 and 9. But if we win that game against Albany State, which is the last game of the season, man, we don't have a successful season. So when the MEAC come in to play against a SWAC team, that's the mentality. So, you got to count that in there too. So right now the MEAC is like, hey, we beaten the SWAC certain number of years, and we're not going to be the team that's going to lose that or start that losing streak. It's a mentality. So again, you just got to be ready to play, man.
Yeah, there's no question. Like I say again, South Carolina State, to their credit, they did have a decent defense coming in, and that was the key. Defensively, they just really shut Jackson State down. They didn't allow them to run the ball. They forced them to be one-dimensional. And as great as Sanders is as a playmaker, they just made sure that he would not hurt them with his legs and force them to constantly throw the ball. And as we saw, 16 of 36, wasn't even 50%. And like I mentioned, 2 costly turnovers that really made that game go to South Carolina State's way. But to Todd's credit, it was a win for everybody involved. There's no question about it. Just to have all those eyeballs. I will point out they set a record for the Celebration Bowl attendance. Almost 50,000 people came out in the stands to come out and see that game. The highest they had before that was the high 30s. And the estimate as far as number of tickets sold actually exceeded that. But the scalpers kind of ran out of gas because once it started raining, we don't come out too much in the rain. You like to kind of keep it, especially ladies get their hair done right. That's not happening. So at the end of the day, it was slowed it down a little bit. But kudos to John Grant, the executive director of the bowl game. Also, big kudos to Michelle Jinks. And for me, the only negative of the whole thing is, as much as I appreciate ESPN being kind of the primary sponsor with it being ESPN events, y'all was a little heavy-handed as far as blocking the media from access to the field even after the game was over, because as you guys all know, one of the highlights of your coverage of a championship game is that confetti on the field, players running around, seeing those moments, and we were completely blocked. So, yeah, the preacher feeling some kind of way that we were blocked from that. But all that being said, we are still happy again for the great exposure that Jackson State got. But one last thing we're going to
too, Jonathan, real quick.
Sir, jump on in, sir.
I'm jumping in real quick. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I understand. Now, I'm never being negative. I just try to call things a spade, man. Spade a spade. I understand everybody's excited about this first game, so to speak, and I think it was a lot of emotion involved. My thing is, let's make it consistent, people. Let's show up next year the same way we did this year, and then the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. We are some of the most emotional people. And when things are hot, we're there. But when it comes to consistency, oh, man, I ain't going to see them. I ain't going to. You know what? Let's keep that same emotion that you started out with. So that's how we keep things going good today, good 10 years from now. So come on, people. I challenge everybody to do that. Come to the Celebration Bowl just like you did this year. Come there next year, same way, no matter who's playing. Support. Don't just be there just because, oh, I want to see this guy or I want to see that team. They've been talked about on ESPN or around the world. Maybe I get an opportunity to get my picture in the paper. Man, come to support because that's what you come to do, to support. That's what I challenge everybody to do next year.
Get out here, guys, and have a good time. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show coming up. Don't go nowhere because we got some comments on social media from, well, you got to stay tuned to find out. We'll be right back.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
Well, it looks like the music is over. We're back in the Real Talk Sports Show. Before we shift over to football, the other thing, for those of you who may or may not know me, I also do some stuff on the red carpet. So we're going to go to another spotlight. One of the great things that happens during the Celebration Bowl is actually a doubleheader. Celebration Bowl in the afternoon and the Mayor's Mass Ball happens in the evening. For those who are not familiar, it is the primary fundraiser here in Atlanta for the UNCF, which stands for the United Negro College Fund, which feeds into the HBCUs. For those who don't know what that stands for, it's historically black colleges and universities. So we're going to see if we can get a little clip from yours truly on the red carpet, fresh haircut, looking quite suave, if I might say myself. Let's go here and see if we can grab a quick little video of who we interviewed. Let's take a peek here, and let's go to that right now. Keep it locked. Stay tuned. And here we go.
I'm looking at myself with this handsome young man right here with gum in my mouth.
Guys, listen, you know, I've been waiting a year for this interview. This. Now, I know you think this is a fashion out here, but this is the Sheriff of DeKalb County. Matter of fact, I want to introduce yourself to everybody right now, please.
I'm Sheriff Melody Maddox. I am the sheriff in DeKalb County, Georgia. I am the 50th sheriff and the first female sheriff in the history of DeKalb County.
Well, apparently my video is giving me a hard time, but as you can see, the minister got a compliment from the lovely sheriff. She said she wanted to have the interview with the handsome gentleman, and that would be me on the red carpet. Well, anyway, yeah, so it's great stuff. For those who don't know, she is in fact, the first female sheriff in DeKalb County. Also got a chance to talk to the chief of police for the city of Atlanta and several other luminaries. We will have that up on our YouTube page very shortly, so keep it locked right there on, follow us on YouTube. Let's see if I can post it up for you guys. YouTube or Real Talk Sports TV. So please follow us and subscribe if you could, please. All right, time to talk some football and some pro football. We talk a little bit about how COVID.
How excited is it to be out here? The mass ball. We have so many.
All right, let's try it again. Okay, so as we talk football, especially pro football, we have to talk about our hometown Falcons. And we like to bring in the guy who knows more about our Falcons than anybody. He's the embedded beat writer for AJC Sports for the Falcons, and he is an award-winning sports writer and Esquire par excellence. I'm talking about the one and only D. Orlando Ledbetter is back in the building. What's going on, sir?
Hello, Reverend. Thanks for having me on the show tonight. Glad to be on Real Talk Sports with you again, and Miss Tree Dolman and Brother Tyrone Poole to talk a little football tonight.
Well, sir, it's great to have you. Great to have you back. Before we shift to college football, we got all kind of rumors floating around out here, so I'm going to let you guys kind of see this really quickly. Todd says there was a rumor that broke today regarding Jackson State that a player transferred over from USC was being fed on fraud COVID money. Then he said something about $900,000. I'm not kind of sure what's going on with that. And then, of course, Mr. Vincent Turner has a big shout out for Tree. He says, "Go Michigan, Big Blue over them dogs." He said the rumor mill is that JT Daniels has tested positive for COVID. So we are not sure. And then he's asking the question, is Tree going to Miami to watch the game?
No. I can answer that quickly.
All right.
I will be watching the game from the comfort of my home. With COVID going on, I am not going to do a lot of traveling.
All right. Well, we got all those questions in from social media. Remember, guys, we're now shifting to the NFL and the Falcons. All right, D-Led.
Wait.
Oh.
Can we do the gift
before we
talk football? Because once we talk football,
D-Led got a gift. What?
Do you have your gift, D-Led?
Yes, Yay! I
do. All right, and now can you put Tyrone on the screen too? All right, yay! So everybody has their gift except for Jonathan, but we understand you had a long day at work. So now can you both open your gifts?
All right.
Why did Jonathan leave the screen?
All righty.
There's one item.
All right. Showers, lavender shower steamer, and Gentleman's Organic Body Butter.
Yes.
Yes.
Woo.
So handmade organic body butter. If I can see that. There we go. And lavender shower steamer. And then we have the Evergreen Forest room and linen spray.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. All right, so do me a quick favor, both of you.
That would look like in the box.
Spray the room spray and tell me what you think of this scent.
Okay.
Shake it before you spray it.
All right. Take the top off. All right. All right.
Well, clearly the Ledbetter home now has been fragranced very nicely.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, I'm all ready now. We're in the right place to talk a little football. That's beautiful. Thank you, Miss Tree, for your gracious gifts.
Thank you, Tree.
My wife's gonna thank you also because my office smells great now.
And see, that's the key. When the missus walks in and says, "Oh, honey, this smells so nice," That's a big key right there.
Yeah.
Well, oh man, well I'm excited to get mine because as I mentioned to people, I have just transitioned to a brand new apartment over there by the airport. Tyrone, what else you got there? You had some other kind
No,
of bag.
that's what it looks like in the box.
That's in the bag. Okay, there you go.
Beautifully, it was put into the box. So, and with the beautiful red ribbon. So, thank you, Tree. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, I look forward to get. Okay, here we go. Todd says, gang, I got my gift too. I got a Matt Ryan contract extension. Question, D-Led, what's up with $48 million next year for Matt?
It's 91 over 2. You got to look at the 2-year deal. So to 2 years, he's 37 in May. He wants to play to 40. So really what you do is you push that out to 3 years. Same money, but then you can drop that number down $18 million to $30 million. You can go 30, 30, 30, and give him some cash. And then that frees up $18 million on your cap next year. We're going up to 208. You only got 13, so that's 31. So you're gonna be functioning pretty much like you did last year. And then in 2022 and 2023, the cap goes up even more, and that 30 doesn't look as bad. So you got another year just like this year of light rebuilding, not a lot of free agency money. And then next year you might be able to add some pieces in 23 and definitely be able to add some pieces in 24 and maybe the quarterback in 23. That's where I think things are headed with Matt's contract.
And once again, Todd continues to throw shade. D-Led, how can you tell a suffering Falcons fans 2 years of Matt, this is worse than 28-3? Yeah.
Well, I think you should be more worried about 2 more years of the offensive line that couldn't get the ball into the end zone from the 1-yard line, which has nothing to do with Matt Ryan. You got problems, folks, Falcons fans, but Matt Ryan's not one of them.
Tyrone, I know you're ready to roll, sir. Go ahead.
I try to tell him that he's not the problem. If anything, Matt, I like Matt from the standpoint, no, he can't physically do the things that he probably could do as a young rookie. But the one thing that you cannot put a price on is his IQ. So, like you said, D-Led, he can't snap the ball, throw the ball, run the ball, catch the ball by himself. So, he got to have people around him.
Tree?
Yeah, I agree. Matt Ryan is definitely not the problem. If you look at different film footage from games played, you'll see that he does place the ball right in receivers' hands and different places a lot of times. And he needs to be able to throw in the pocket. So just like D-Led said, you can't be mad at Matt. I understand that in football, that's how it goes. If the team is winning, oh, the quarterback is so awesome. If the team is losing, oh, the quarterback sucks. We need a new quarterback. When a lot of times the quarterback is not the problem. D-Led, with the things that you have seen, and we know that the Falcons are playing my Detroit Lions on Sunday, and I know you're picking them to win. I'm actually picking my Detroit Lions to win. What do you think will be the keys for the Falcons to be successful against the Lions on Sunday?
Yeah, no question about it. I did my study on Detroit today. They're hurting a little bit at running back, but a guy named Craig Reynolds ran for 109 last week. Jared Goff was 21 or 26. They got some receivers. Khalif Raymond, from Greater Atlanta Christian here in Atlanta. Played at Holy Cross. Raymond St. Brown's their top receiver. And then they picked up Josh Reynolds from Tennessee, who used to be with Jared Goff with the Rams. So they got enough offense. On defense, they play tough, but their big linebacker's going to be out. Alex Anzalone used to play for the Saints. Their secondary's been suspect, but I got to learn how to pronounce the cornerback's name. He's got 6 interceptions. Not Akunde, but Awarzaria. And I'm pretty sure that's not correct, but that's I'm doing the phonetic spelling of it. But yeah, so the Falcons are going to have to run the ball. The Lions try to run the ball and play keep away. Both of them are going to be trying to play keep away. and and then try to hit a couple big plays here and there. The Lions came out and jumped all over Arizona last week, so they're hyped. They're totally hyped. Coach Kneecaps is up there, fired up. He said the key was they were 3 for 4 on third downs, and the defense was 3 for 4 on third downs. The first two series, they jumped out to a 17-0 lead, and Arizona didn't know what hit them. So they're going to probably try to come and do that here against the Falcons. And the Falcons are going, have to not have a letdown and then look at Detroit and say, oh, they're 2-11-1. We should dust them. But they're 2-11-1 with 6 games that were one-score games. They lost a lot of games on field goal kicks, just the total opposite of the Falcons, who are 6-2 in one-score games. So it's going to be a little bit more evenly matched than what the record suggests. 2-11-1 versus 6-8. You would think the 6-8 team should be a prohibitive favorite. The Falcons are a 4.5-point favorite, and really see some advantages for Detroit. Maybe bringing in here or coming in here and pulling off the upset, much like they did last year when Todd Gurley didn't fall down at the 1-yard line, and the Lions won 23-22.
One more question. So with defense, because we know that defense hurts the Falcons a lot of times, do you think that they have enough keys on defense to make these big stops to stop the Lions from scoring?
Well, thanks, Mr. Tree. I'm gonna be real quick. No, they haven't. They play a bend but not break thing. They can't rush the quarterback. We saw Jimmy Garoppolo have all day last week. The tackling's okay. Deion Jones couldn't stick George Kittle. No crime there. They couldn't stick Deebo Samuel. No crime there. But the Lions have some good players, but none of that level. So the Falcons should be able to play their bend but not break defense. For Detroit, I forgot to mention this, Ms. Tree, and I know you know about him. My man Charles Harris is doing work up there. He was with the Falcons last year. He's got a career high 7.5 sacks. The Falcons would love to have some sacks.
Right.
And my man toured up last week. He's wearing number 53. I know him. He played with my cousin at Missouri. He's from Kansas City. 53 must have been his high school number. I think he might have won 35 because he was a tailback. So, but Charles Harris is doing work for the Lions, and they got him for $1.75 million. So, when the Lions are on defense, look for Charles Harris. When the Falcons are on defense, maybe they figure out some kind of way to rush the passer and stop the run and have a shot in this game.
Yeah, it just constantly baffles me. The front office, again, this regime is obviously new, but it just the blunders that this team makes with the front office. Now, I know you're saying, hey, Charles Harris wasn't a big star here, but the whole reason they picked him up from Miami because they thought he could do this. They thought a change of scenery would allow him to be what everybody thought he was when he was a first-round draft pick. So it's real goofy. But anyway, also speaking of Detroit, some breaking news here that Todd has broken. I'm actually going to confirm it. He says Jared Goff, the starting quarterback from the Lions, has been diagnosed with COVID. And here's the headline from the Detroit Free Press.
Tuesday.
Quarterback Jared Goff and offensive lineman Matt Nelson on the COVID-19 reserve list. So tell me a little bit about, first of all, D-Led, explain to us what that list kind of really means. And is, in fact, Goff actually out for this game?
No, he's not. He's not out. The protocols were changed late last week, and it's in our story that's on up on AJC.com right now. A quick look at the Detroit Lions, the Falcons' next opponent. Goff has went on the COVID list on Monday, but under the new rules, guys can test out of the program if their viral benchmark meets a certain level. Vaccinated players can test out of the program. Unvaccinated still have to do the 10 days. So, and Jared Goff, according to my buddy in Detroit Free Press beat writer Dave Burkett, Goff is vaccinated, so he can make it out in time to play against the Falcons. So it's not that big of a deal until we find out for sure that he's not going to make it out.
Yeah, we talked about earlier, D-Led, this whole COVID. Oh, yeah, you happy about that? Yeah, D-Led, I don't know what I'm gonna do next week if somehow the Lions beat the Falcons. We might have to have like a separate Christmas show.
When the Lions beat the Falcons.
Anyway, I might have to have a separate show just featuring the Queen, relishing a victory because she's gonna be some kind of way. We're not gonna be able to talk to her. Matter of fact, she might wear our Queen's outfit. She might have a special. I think she got in the closet. She got a special like blue gown waiting for this. So Tyrone, we better be ready next week, bro. If the Lions win, we're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, she might break out her tiara on us next week.
I'm telling you that we might see it. We might see it. I don't even know. But yeah, it is amazing. You look at these teams, you look at the record, like I said, Detroit is a team that now I think is like Tyrone says about confidence. They're playing with some confidence, knock off a team that a lot of people feel would be the Super Bowl representative from the NFC, if not the Packers. So yeah, man, I mean, and the Falcons don't play well at home.
0-5.
Oh.
Yeah, I throw this in. The last time the Falcons played against a team they were supposed to beat badly, I believe, you go back to when they played the Jets. The Jets came in 1-4. That was a team that basically, everybody thought the Falcons should have beat up on them. But they ended up, barely beating them 27-20. And then you come look at Detroit. Detroit, they were able to get to the quarterback twice. They were able to get to Arizona's quarterback twice. The Falcons, we're talking about their offensive line is struggling. And not only are the offensive line struggling, but defensively, they could not get to the quarterback. And if you're going to keep Matt Ryan upright, you got to be able to run the ball. And that's something that the Falcons didn't do last week. Now, granted, this is a different team, but still, they're playing against a different team. But the Lions are coming in on a high. They're coming in on a high. So, the Falcons going to have to come out in that first quarter, maybe even pregame, and show some energy. In that first quarter, they're going to really have to let the Lions know that, hey, we are better than you. But if they come out playing lackluster, then they're going to let that momentum from the Lions continue to move on over. And like I said, the Falcons have not gotten to the opposition quarterback last week. The Detroit Lions did. The Falcons couldn't run the ball last week. And Detroit did. Of course, like D-Led said, they had a couple guys come in there and create some yardage. So if the Falcons don't run the ball, then Matt Ryan, I hope he, got some cushion in his rear end because he may be on his backside a lot. That just be talking football.
All right. So once again, our man Todd has questions about Coach Smith's play calling. So I'm going to combine these two questions here. He's basically saying that, hey, he's questioning how come they didn't try to at least have Matt Ryan on the sneak when they had the ball down there close. And he's saying, hey, once again, Smith is no offensive genius. And he says, and I failed the first grade. I'm not sure what that's all about. But
well, yeah, I got problems with the play calling. I asked him after the game why he didn't pound the ball. I was like, why didn't you run the ball on all 4 plays? Because he said, hey, we ran the ball. We didn't get it. They overturned it. Then we ran the play action. Then we ran it again. Then he went empty backfield and threw another pass. So that wasn't the question. I'm like, why did you run it 4 times? 4 times, run it. And he obviously didn't think his team could move them off the ball. So he tried to trick them. And it didn't work. You went when did it become fashionable to get in the shotgun on the 1-yard line? I'm sorry. I gotta go to some new coaching clinic where they teach that at. And then empty on the 1. Okay, I'm power on the 1. Put everybody in the backfield and run a dive. Jump, send somebody over the top. You don't get that. Okay, fine. We couldn't push him back. But to go empty, then throw a quick out to the right. I don't. All plays are supposed to work, but that's getting too cute. You're making it too hard. You're making it way too hard than it need to be. So I generally get a play call as a pass, but when you make an obvious blunder like that, when you got a chance to take control of the game, I don't care. Put Grady Jarrett at fullback. You knock somebody off the line of scrimmage and get a yard. I don't want to see no play action out of the shotgun on the 1. I don't ever want to see you in an empty backfield, bunch left, two people to the right or on the 1 yard line. That's because Sarkisian did that in Philly. It don't work. It's not good football. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like D-Les said, certain plays, man, you just got to do what the play tells you to do. If it's 3rd and 1, 30 inches, you know it's gonna be quarterback sneak. I'm quarterback sneaking. Now I may try to change the snap count. I may go but I'm going quarterback sneak. When you get on the goal line, I'm going 3 tight end. I'm going goal line. Goal line. That's what we do in practice. We practice goal line. Number 1 defensive goal line against number 1 offensive goal line. And we gonna pound the ball. But like D-Les said, when you start outthinking yourself, man, you mess up. Go back and look at Pete Carroll back in the Super Bowl. You know what? Run Marshawn, man. Run him. That's what the stat tell you. The guy is picking up 4 yards every time, 45 yards every time he touches the ball. And then all of a sudden you get down there, you want to be cute. I'm glad he got cute because, we wouldn't have won. But you got to get percentages, man. You got to run the ball.
Well, D-Led, you got Todd excited. He said that's the best take he ever heard. And he even put an amen on it.
Well, thank you, Todd. I'm sending that to my boss so that, around performance review time. So, we can turn that into some cash.
Some money. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, I don't get it. And I'm still baffled. And maybe I'm not watching enough of the game, but I'm thinking, you have your primary weapon is a tight end. Why aren't you running jumbo sets, 3 tight ends? You brought the guy Lee over because his ability to block. He's shown he can block pretty good. Run if you're gonna say I'm a pass, run a 3 tight end set where at least you can say if we run the ball, we got enough meat. Now I'm not trying to say Kyle Pitts is the best blocker in the world, but at least it's an option where okay, with this jumbo set, one of these guys can catch a pass if we decide to do that. And I'm thinking like you, if not Grady Jarrett, put in Marlon Davidson. He's a big old boy. He seems like he's got a little speed off the block. It's just I guess I'm like everybody else. I'm shocked at the lack of imagination, and I get it. D-Led, you kind of peeped me on this. The guy was running basically a lot of play action because he had arguably the best running back in the league for the last 5 years and a future Hall of Famer. But I've not seen really any real imagination, no ability to get Kyle Pitts free. And I know Tyrone's saying, well, they put their best defensive back on him, but I'm saying that I don't see any pick plays. I don't see rub plays. I never see Falcons receivers open. I mean, so something is not right. And the other thing, too, last but not least, I'm going to shout my boy out. Where is Quadre Allison in these short yardage situations? This guy has shown he can pick up first downs. He picked up touchdowns a few times. He carried the ball with the previous regime. Why don't you give this guy the ball, and why don't you try him with 15 or 20 carries in the game and see what you got? I'm just saying.
Yeah, no doubt. I think they may have to do that because Cordell Patterson's figuring out that running back is not very fun.
No.
He got 11 carries for 18 yards, and he got popped 7 times behind the line of scrimmage. So he's like, he can't even get his flow going if he's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. So he might raise his head and say, hey, I want to go back to wide receiver. And then maybe Quadri will get some more runs.
And I'm adding this about Kyle Pitts. Jonathan, you mentioned Kyle Pitts. This would be the perfect scenario for him, in my mind. The perfect scenario. Yes, they're going to put a defensive back on him. You got to understand the formations, too, when statements are made. When you try to go 4 wide and put him as a slot, he's going to get treated as a slot. But when you change the formation and you bring in the big boys, you bring in 3 tight ends, now he's that hybrid guy. He's more like a wide receiver / tight end. I think he's more effective in a situation like that because now it forces the defense to say, you know what, we're either going to cover him with a safety or we're going to bring a corner in. And if we bring that corner in, then now that tells the offense to pound the ball because we got more big people than they do. If they bring in a safety to try to match our goal line, then now let's use Kyle Pitts and put him one-on-one against that whoever that cover guy is. You got to get fancy with it, man. It's just football, man. It's 101 football.
That's been my point. I've not seen those jumbo sets where he can be utilized like that. That's the only thing I've questioned. The other thing, too, is it's the same thing they didn't do this with Julio. I'm like, look, man, throw the ball. I can't think of the guys back in the 60s. It's just like a jump ball. Just throw the ball toward the center of the goalpost and give you guys a shot to make a play. The guy's 6'6", 245. Throw the ball at the center of that goalpost and defy anybody to jump up and get it.
That's Harold Carmichael.
Yep. I don't get it. Yeah, there just doesn't seem to be, we talk about this all the time. A great coach has the ability to put his players in the position to do their best. He utilizes their strengths. He takes advantage of what they do well. And I know it's early, but so far, the last two regimes, I've not seen that. And to be very frank, the last guy, and that's why he's at San Francisco, that really said, hey, look, I'm going to get you a little bit out of your comfort zone, but by doing that, I'm going to put you in a position to make plays with Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. I mean, if you watch the Falcons offense, now I grant you the players were better, but if you watch that offense, what you saw a lot of times, and D-Led, you remember, you had Falcons running free. It was sometimes nobody around. They had open play. Matt had an open seam to throw almost every single time. And when they ran, go ahead, D-Led.
They got Levine Toilolo wide open.
Right. Go ahead.
I would even say, even if they had Randy Moss in his prime, they would probably still try to ask Randy to run crossing routes and run slants.
Well, my other problem is the coach says he wants to be a physical, tough football team, but then he gets on the 1 yard line and goes empty backfield. Those two things don't go together for me.
Yeah, I just Tree, what are we missing a point here? You got something to add in on this that maybe we're missing?
Listen, I'm missing it too, because it doesn't make sense for me either. And I watch the game and I scratch my head sometimes, and it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And I know that the players can do better. I do think a lot of it is the play calling. And like you said, great coaches will put their players in great positions to do great things, because the players show the coaches what they're capable of in practice. So you know what they're capable of, and so you should make these plays that enhances what they are great at and do it in the game, and let's get some points scored. Just not against my Lions.
Stack them up. Lord have mercy, them daggone Lions. Oh, you must be from Michigan. You must be a Michigander, doggone. But listen, you think about this. Okay, so I don't care if it's obvious. Jumbo backfield, put in Felipe Franks. The guy, same thing, 6'6", 240 pounds. You mean to tell me he can't lean into a gap to get 4 inches or half a yard? Just put him in the game. I don't care. Yeah, we know he's going to run the ball good. Try to stop us. Put Marlon Davidson and just bam, run right behind him and fall out. Or if you're going to go with a backfield, even have them do a sprint out roll, something. I know they've tried it once or twice, but they're going to have to find some way to be more imaginative. That's the thing, I guess, that just drives me bananas, is they are just plain vanilla. I know you got a suspect offensive line. I get it, but you need to start utilizing these players better. Find a way to get Kyle Pitts open. Find a way. Like you said, if you think our quarterback can't move, he's going to be under pressure, then you find a way to get Felipe Franks up to speed so he can make some plays in the game. It's ridiculous. All this stuff about, I know the offensive line is not the best, but this team has shown that they can be a decent offensive team, but I just think they need more imagination. I'm going to leave this thing alone. Let me go to Todd real quick. He says, once again, throwing shade. Let's be frank here. I will say a Preacher Smith got the job because who his dad is and his dad's relationship with Arthur Blank. I'm not going to say that because this guy was pretty highly touted around the league. And a lot of people talk about, why didn't bring Bieniemy in? They couldn't have really brought him in with Matt being a quarterback, I don't think. I think that it would have been better suited if they had a quarterback that could move around a little bit. You're not obviously going to find another Patrick Mahomes, just lying around there. But, yeah, we're going to have to do something with this team. I
tell you what, they better hurry up, because the Lions, they're coming in energetic. And then they got the Bills, and then the Saints, of course, they're fighting. All those teams are fighting for playoff spots. So, you always like Jesse Jackson. You keep hope alive. And I know Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. And hopefully Santa Claus will have a playoff bid for the Falcons. Maybe he got coal in his bags this year. I don't know. But we'll find out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt. The Lions have actually done something that the Falcons have not. They beat a team with a winning record last week. They beat the Arizona Cardinals with 10-4. The Falcons haven't beaten a team with a winning record, and will only get a chance to do that one more time this year when they play Buffalo. So they're going to come in feeling pretty good about themselves. Like, hey, we beat Arizona. They're 10-4. We can do this Falcons thing. So expecting a really good game from the Lions, and the Falcons better be ready because the Falcons the Lions are going to come in here and try to play some ball.
Let me ask D-Led this question. D-Led, being a player myself, when a team gets to a certain game and they know they're out of playoff contention, it just happens. I've seen guys, man, call the airline, call their car guy that they transport their cars. Have you ever been around a situation with the Falcons where you're like, oh man, they don't throw it in the bag, man. It's in the bag. They giving it up. Have you ever because again, we look at they got the Lions, then they got the Bills, and then they got the Saints. So do you think after this Detroit Lions game, you may get a feel for some of the guys, but get them to get on that phone and call that moving company?
Yeah, in the old days, we used to go by the players' parking lot and see who's had the cars running. Some guy, that's the old jokes like, hey, yeah, just go by the parking lot because half of the team got the car. They left the kids in the car so they can jump on the highway right after the game.
Oh, have mercy.
But I think the players are, professional. We can't get in the parking lot now, so we can't see the trucks that are pulling in and then these guys making more money now, so they got people to drive their cars somewhere for them. So, but I haven't seen the Dan Quinn's teams played hard. They didn't play smart. They played hard. So I'm like, hey, at least they playing. They blowing the coverages, but they playing hard. And so this Coach Smith team, they're playing hard. But they got limitations, they are overmatched a lot. And I think a lot about the, he's going into games on Sundays, taking a switchblade to the gunfight a lot. That might not be the case this Sunday, but it will be when he goes to Buffalo. It was when he went to San Francisco. And, every time they played a team with a winning record, they lost by 20 points or more. And this one, they kept it close and only lost by 18. So, so they overmatched, man. And he's coaching pretty hard. He's got a hard staff. But I mean, the bottom line is you need players, and whether the play didn't work or they didn't run the quarterback sneak, we can't say my lines is horrible. I can't run it, which is the answer. So, till he gets some money, I want to see. It's been a good season where if they don't win another game, because they showed they could win close games against bad teams. And, the next step is, beating some of the better teams. And you got to get better players to do that.
No doubt.
Like I asked the last quick question, if they don't bring Calvin Ridley back, do you think they try to find a receiver in the draft, or they try to go get a veteran receiver?
Yeah, I think you're gonna try to find one. One of the drafts is I'm doing the Cover 99 blog tomorrow, and one of the mocks has got him taking the Kaloftis kid out of Purdue, Cam Jordan out of it might be Cameron Smith out of San Diego State, 2 defensive ends, Kenny Walker, the running back out of Michigan State, and then the big defensive tackle out of Alabama in the first 4 rounds. They got 3 picks because they got 2 second rounds from the Julio Jones trade. And so they're just so deficient in the trenches that they can't really, look outside of that and take a receiver, like they did last year. They took the tight end when the lineman that got drafted by Detroit will be coming in here and blocking up a storm on Sunday. They maybe should have took Penei Sewell to straighten out their line situation when you really didn't need, a tight end that wasn't going to help you with the blocking.
All right, guys, as always, the time is rocketed by. Time to go and go social media one more time here, and then we're going to go around the horn. Okay, H.C. Hardy said, yeah, the one package 49ers had that the Falcons don't is a fullback. And then last but not least, of course, our man, Mr. Todd, always has to have greetings to the Queen. He says, I just want to say that tree looks outstanding tonight, and Merry Christmas to all.
Thank you, Todd. You're so nice, and Merry Christmas.
All right, let's do the daggone thing. You know how we do it. We like to let everybody know how you can reach our guests. So, D. Orlando Ledbetter, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Falcons do have fullback Keith Smith. They got to use him. Thank you, Reverend. You can find me on Twitter at DOrlandoAJC. The Bowtie Chronicles podcast will be out at 7 a.m. in the morning with our new producer, Jay Black, helping us out, making it sound more professional and so forth. And then the Cover 9 at 9 blog drops at 9 o'clock on AJC.com tomorrow. Thanks for having me.
Hit it,
Until next week, sir. God bless.
All right, D-Led.
Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
Simple and plain. Simple like watching paint dry on the wall. Tyrone Poole 38, all social medias. Tyrone Poole 38. Thank you, Reverend. Thank you for the gift tree. It's always a pleasure to be on Real Talk Sports. And thank you all for watching and listening. Until next time, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Tyrone, God bless. All right. The Queen, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I would like to say thank you to everyone who donated to our toy drive. It was very successful. We dropped off the toys at the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Scottish Rite Hospital. And so I just want to say a huge thank you to anyone who made a donation through our Amazon toy drive, because Amazon would not tell us who you are. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And you can find me on all social media at It's Latresa, as well as Ms. America International 2021.
All right. Here I am. All right. All right, guys. You know about me. I am, in fact, a real live minister of the gospel. You can find, first of all, I'm going to get you for the show here. You can follow me and the show here on social media at Real Talk Sports 7, or you can follow me personally at Minister J. Sims on all social media. And remember, you can contact us if you have a great story about the show, or you want to just kind of come on and be part of our advertising package. No problem. Hit me up at jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or simply give me a call on the cell, 678-410-9833, and we'd love to communicate with you. Well, of course, it's the Christmas season, so what better way to end our show? Just to remind you, if you do not know God, if you don't have a relationship with God, then that means you don't have a relationship with his son, Jesus Christ. And he's the reason for the season. Nobody loves you like Jesus, not your mom, not your auntie, not your bae, not your boo. Nobody loves you like him, because he played the ultimate sacrifice. He died for you and all of your sins. All you have to do is repent, believe in Jesus Christ, and you become two great things. You become a full-blown citizen of the kingdom of heaven, and you become an adoptive child of God, the creator of the universe, and have all the rights therein. That means you can go to God in prayer, ask him for what you need or desire, and according to his will, he will give it to you. And when you leave this place, which someday we all will, you get to go to a happy place called heaven, where it is no pandemic, no protests, no bad people, no snarky politicians. It is sunny and beautiful all the time. It's the most beautiful place ever even imagined. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all those things I mentioned in heaven, they ain't going to be in hell. And number one thing can be cut off from God and Jesus Christ forever and a day. And I don't know about you, but I like option number one versus option number two. All right, guys, until the next time, God bless you and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.